following program contains explicit calls to political action. If you are addicted to the tax-exempt status, Randall might not be right for you. Check with your little sister.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. Men enough to walk his cat. Randall Terry.
Welcome to the program, friend. Another special edition of Randall Terry, the voice of resistance. Day 7 of the new Congress. Are they going to defund Planned Parenthood? As you probably know, Congressman Michael Pence has introduced legislation to defund Planned Parenthood. The question is, will they have the courage to make it a hill to die on? In today's program, we interviewed a whole bunch of congressmen on the day that they were sworn in. We're going to play for you some of those interviews. But first, a very profound word about Planned Parenthood from my close friend, Sir Reginald Bling.
You may have heard that Planned Parenthood seems to have misplaced about $1.5 billion of our money. I gotta set the record straight on Planned Parenthood. First of all, Planned Parenthood abortionists have killed more babies than any other source in America. We're talking millions of babies dead. Now, that makes perfect sense. You see, Planned Parenthood was started by a full-blown, dyed-in-the-wool racist named Margaret Sanger. This woman hated people of color. She hated Italians, she hated Poles, she hated Jews and Hispanics, and the Negroes, as she called them. She called us all human weeds. She must have been smoking weed. Now, I don't mean no disrespect for the dead, but this woman was a horror of the first order. One of her boyfriends was a co-worker in the Nazi party, in the part of the whole eugenics movement. She believed in the master race. She wanted black people and poor people to be sterilized so they couldn't have no more of these human weeds. She said we was useless breeders. Well, she set out to deceive the black preachers in America and the white liberal churches to get behind her damnable agenda. And what's crazy is she did it. Yeah, she got the black churches to get behind getting rid of black babies. Now, in her private life, she was practically a hooker. She had at least 3 husbands. We don't know how many adulterous lovers she had, and she abandoned her 3 children for her sex life. Said, hey, you got to fend for yourself, children. One of them almost died. And she had the behavior traits that was more like a drug-addicted prostitute, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, this woman, yeah, she's the founder of Planned Parenthood. So, you black church leaders who support the Democratic Party and support Planned Parenthood, have you lost your mind? You are supporting black genocide. You are doing something that the Ku Klux Klan could never have done on their own. And believe me, every white honky crackle racist in the Mississippi Delta is thanking you for supporting the abortion lynchings of black babies happening every day. Look in the mirror, black preacher, and thank yourself for all the dead black babies. And you, Republicans who say, oh, I'm for family values, oh, I'm pro-life. You're the biggest bunch of lying hypocrites to walk the streets of America since the slave traders themselves. But don't worry, God Almighty has a perfect accounting of every time you voted to give money to Planned Parenthood. And you will give an account to him on the day of judgment for your evil deeds. So remember, when you think about Planned Parenthood, remember what you learned. 1, Planned Parenthood is the devil. 2, Margaret Sanger is the mother of this devil. 3, people who vote to give money to Planned Parenthood are servants of this devil. And I'm betting hell has a very special place waiting for all y'all. Word out.
Thank you, Reggie. I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, let's go to the congressmen, the people that were sworn in to defend life and liberty. some of them baby killers, some of them say that they're pro-life. Just what priority does defunding Planned Parenthood have for some of these guys? Let's listen. What priority does defunding Planned Parenthood have?
I am focusing on the economy, and that's the priority for people in my district. That's where I want to be.
Well, John, you're welcome. I'm delighted to visit with you, sir. How do you feel about Mr. Boehner?
Well, I voted for him, so I'm feeling good about him.
Mr. Boehner said in a speech in the summer that just passed that protecting human life, the unborn, is paramount, even more important than the economy. Do you have any sense as to whether or not Planned Parenthood and groups like that, especially Planned Parenthood, would be defunded in the next budget?
Well, that's yet to remain to be seen. I think that what I'm focused on, and that's an important part of this interview, is to let people know that I'm looking at how we're going to create jobs in this economy. And one of the things that we've been focused on is trade. I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, I've been appointed as the whip for the Korean Trade Agreement. So for Washington State, which is where I'm from, trade is very important. South Korea agreement is very important. It's the fourth largest trading partner for the Washington State businesses. Wow. And so we're going to be focused on creating jobs in the economy. I think people, when you start to try to separate America by social issues, I think people are getting frustrated because most people right now say, let's focus on creating jobs, let's get this economy going, let's get people back to work.
Well, the question can be asked, as I would ask, and that is, if we deny the most fundamental of human rights, which is the right to life, how can we expect to prosper as a nation? How can we expect for God himself to bless us when a third of our offspring are ending up dead?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I'll tell you this, that what we're going to focus on is creating jobs. I happen to be a Christian. I am pro-life, and some may believe another way. And I also believe that the God above will judge us as we move through this life on the actions that we take or don't take, obviously. But I do know that today, we're going to focus on, beginning today, we're going to focus on working together, Democrats and Republicans, on jobs, on the economy, and I think that we have a lot of people out there, including myself and others, who will work hard to save lives, and those include our darling little babies, too.
Well, I appreciate your time, and let's hope that we can defund Planned Parenthood, at least as a good first step.
Well, there's going to be a lot of cuts throughout this year, and we'll take a look at every aspect of government, because I think you can find that anywhere in our U.S. government's budget, there are places where there's lots of waste. So
by the way, nice button.
Oh, yeah, thank you. That's just brand new today. I know. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Good to see you.
Pleasure's mine.
Thanks.
What priority do you think that defunding Planned Parenthood should have?
Well, I'm not in favor of that. I think that as we go forward, we have to look at every bill that comes before us. I think we're going to have a lot of interesting and contentious issues that come to the floor. And I hope we can manage them in a civil way so that we can exchange our ideas in a way that allows each of us to learn from the other.
Go ahead.
What do you think the odds are of us defunding Planned Parenthood during this session?
I would oppose that. I'm a supporter of Planned Parenthood, but I respect your view. Thank you.
We can go to work together on it. They're the largest killer of children in America right now. Can I ask one quick question? By the way, giving that money back.
Thanks a lot.
Any chance of us defunding Planned Parenthood in this term?
Oh, gosh, I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry. I can't answer.
What do you think the chances are of us defunding Planned Parenthood this session?
In the House, I think very good. I think the odds are a lot better in the House, obviously, than the Senate, because we have the majority.
And you control the purse strings.
And we control the purse strings. Appropriations come out of the House. So
as long as in conference it's not hammered back in.
Precisely. But that's an up or down deal.
Thank you, sir. Congresswoman, how are you?
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What priority do you think that defunding Planned Parenthood should be for the economics?
It is a high priority for me. I am very pro-life. I believe the sanctity of life, and that is one of our goals eventually.
God bless you. You know that there's going to be a fight if that happens. We've controlled the purse strings before and haven't seemed to muster the courage to do it. Do you think there's a chance in this session?
I think with all the new freshmen coming in and the majority in the House that we will be able to do some real active progression in that area.
We said to John Boehner's chief of staff, if you don't defund Planned Parenthood, we will run people against you, because there's no excuse at this point to control the purse strings and to let this group keep having money.
Well, and their funding has been increased over the last year or so. So we have to work on that, and we can. And, you know, I can't promise that we're going to have all the answers and it's going to be immediate, but we will work towards that goal.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I've got to take a quick break. When we come back, ask the doctor. I mean, Dr. Alan Keyes. Come on, this is awesome television.
Randall and I made a trip to Mars as part of a secret project. Okay, I lied. It was actually to the moon with Neil Armstrong.
Moments with Moses. The Lord will make the pestilence cleave to you until he has consumed you off the land which you are entering to take possession of it.
Welcome back to the program, friend. It is I, your servant Randall, with another edition of To the Doctor, Dr. Alan Keyes. Alan, thank you so much for being with me. You know, there's a lot of people in this country that think if you're sick, what you need is Obamacare. Thank you very much. Thank you. What makes me sick is Obamacare. Help me. What do I do to get over this?
Well, I think what you're going to have to do over the course of the next little while is to try to see to it that the folks who were just elected to the Congress that's going to be taking up the cudgel in 2011 are committed to just getting rid of Obamacare and starting afresh to address the challenges that do in fact exist in the health system of the United States. But that is something, by the way, that's going to require, I think, a fundamental retooling of how we think about this, which hasn't happened. Because of the silly discussion over Obamacare, we've been focused on paying for things and spending more and more money.
Socialized medicine.
These socialists always do. And the assumption that somehow or another government control is the answer to our problems. In point of fact, I think the problems within the health system in terms of skyrocketing costs and so forth are a function of the fact that we've allowed a basic understanding of what that sector is about to become so deeply entrenched. And that understanding is that the health sector is about treating sickness. Does that make sense?
As opposed to...
Why don't we call it the sickness care sector instead of the healthcare sector? It's because, in point of fact, what we should be doing is trying to emphasize empowering people to do what's healthy, both in terms of information they have, in terms of the freedom they have of choice to act responsibly, and doing it in a way that allows their healthy decisions to be rewarded in such a way that they will prove to be more cost effective, so that the better you decide to behave, the less you're going to end up spending trying to maintain and take care of your health. That's going to achieve a number of purposes. But the most important one is that instead of chasing the tail of skyrocketing costs, you will be trying to encourage the behavior that will reduce the incidence of disease so that you can build up resources to be used to treat those areas where disease is inevitable, whether it's in the aging process, accidents, or other things that people
Well,
can
I have a
avoid.
proposal that I'd like to make. As most people know who follow this, the vast majority of healthcare costs, over 50% of all healthcare costs, are spent in the last 6 months of life. I think what we need to do is kill everyone who's really sick. No, I mean, if you could just say, you got 6 months to live, not anymore, and we just saved a lot of money.
You got that off page 1536 of the Obamacare proposal, right?
Is that where it was?
No, I have been appalled for a long time at the fact that in various ways in America, we've been willing to accept a redefinition of what healthcare is about to include things that actually involve killing people. Whether it's abortion involved killing the baby in the womb, whether it's euthanasia that involves killing people under the pretext of caring about the pain they're in, whether it's the Terry Schiavo situation, where you had a judge saying that you could kill somebody by starving them to death just because they happen to be really sick and incapacitated. I think that this suggests that we're crossing a line and that our health system is no longer about the use of science to try to help promote human health and the integrity of our lives, but instead is just becoming an instrument of power to be directed against those who get in the way of whatever ideas of progress and convenience the powers that be come up with.
I would like to talk in our next segment about what politicians call the third rail of American politics. What I have told people repeatedly on this show, and by the way, these are unrehearsed, ladies and gentlemen, what I've told people, and I'll let you give the thumbs up or thumbs down, and then we'll just pick up the discussion in the next time we have in the doctor's office, and that is that until you are ready to say Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid and food stamps, those things are by definition socialism. And until you are willing to discuss phasing them out and returning to true liberty, then you're just a socialist and we're tinkering around the edges. True or false?
True.
All right. I knew that I was in good shape. That's why I wanted to go see the doctor. I passed my physical. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Dr. Alan Keyes, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back.
Fail faster, Randall. Here, let me help you out. No!
I have no fear of the future. Let us go forward into its mysteries. Let us tear aside the veils which hide it from our eyes, and let us move onward with confidence and courage. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. Please note how many congressmen say they're pro-life, but when my constituents want me to worry about money. Whoa, 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 whoa. Human life is more important than money. And I'm really happy that there are people who are in Congress who say that they're pro-life. The question is not what will they say, the question is what will they do? I think that today we should talk to one of these people who are out here braving the cold. I'm with my good friend Dick Retta. Dick,
hi, Randall.
Good to be with you.
Good to be here.
What possesses you to do this, man? Why do you keep coming out here?
I'm crazy, I guess.
Evidently.
But I'm out to try to save babies' lives. That's what it is. I want to end the child killing.
Say something to the men and women out there that are retired right now and have time on their hands. You're retired, very cushy job you had for the government, quite wealthy, I might add. So what are you doing? Say a word to those that have time and are sitting there watching television.
Well, I think they ought to get out and do things like this and try to do something worthwhile. There's so many children being killed at so many every year. There's 3,000 to 4,000 every year, and you could
every day,
right? And so they could come out and pray. They could come out and hold signs and try to end this nightmare of child killing.
What about running for office like Missy Smith did?
No, I'm not running for office.
What about others running?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that would be good. That's something they could do to run for office, and since they're running and they're candidates, they could contribute to getting advertisements.
Let me ask you a question, a very personal question. How old are you?
79 plus.
This man is almost an octogenarian, people, almost 80 years old. God love you. And you're out here.
Right, that's right. I'm in my 80th year, correct, right. And it's great to be here. I'm doing something worthwhile.
You people that are retired, come on. You said your whole life, as soon as I'm done working, I'll get to really do the things I want to do. Well, here's your chance to do it. Be like one of my heroes, Dick Retta. Dick, thanks for being out here. God bless you.
Thank you for inviting me here.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, more of the #1 Tea Party show in the United States of America. Randall Terry, the voice of resistance.
We're killing children at the rate of 1.5 million every year.
Can wicked rulers be allied with thee, who frame mischief by statute? They band together against the life of the righteous and condemn the innocent to death. But the Lord has become my stronghold, and my God, the rock of my refuge. He will bring back on them their iniquity and wipe them out for their wickedness. The Lord our God will wipe them out. Thomas Jefferson said, "Dependence begets subservience, and venality suffocates the germ of virtue and prepares fit tools for the designs of ambition." Friend, are we being deceived? Are we the tools of the ambition of this Congress, of the Obama administration? In my opinion, We have allowed them to suffocate freedom, and it's time for us to break out of their suffocating grip. But it's not going to come without a struggle. This morning we read the passage from the Beatitudes to our children where it said, "Blessed are you when you are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Blessed are you when men speak evil of you and say all manner of evil against you falsely. Great is your reward in heaven." Friends, if we're going to do and say the right thing, we're going to be persecuted for it. Don't be surprised. Keep standing strong and live for your Maker. God bless you.